So yeah, so I was intrigued because I think I know you've been your interest in palindromes has been written up in a few places over the years, but I saw something in the Washington Post sometime in the last year. I can't even remember when it was, and that mentioned your name, and I was intrigued mostly because they referred to you as a palindrome collector.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think of palindromes as a thing that can be collected because I don't think of them as like a physical object. So, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to be a
Yeah.
palindrome collector?
Yeah, I think what they were probably referring to is, you see, my attention got on palindrome dates. This was almost like 10, probably 10, about 10 years ago,
Uh-huh.
2010. There was an 8-digit palindrome date. And before that, I was doing math puzzles. I always had interest in different numbers, special numbers, numbers with symmetry, square numbers, cube
Hmm.
numbers. And so what I did since 2010 is I kept my attention on palindrome dates,
Hmm.
partly because I'm very interested in these type of stuff, but also because it's intriguing. It's when I share this with other people, my students, young people, old people, it gets their attention.
Hmm.
90% of the time they say, wow, oh, I see. When is this going to happen again? And this and that, that symmetric aspect of palindrome dates
Uh-huh.
has its own magic power.
Um, where did your interest sort of just in numbers and math in general? When did that begin for you? I imagine it was must have been a young age.
I think it was probably middle school, high school when I was having my education. That's when I allowed to work with mathematics, physics, those
Mhm.
science type of subjects, and then when I got my PhD and became a college professor, I many times the courses I teach, I make my own problems in my exams,
Mhm.
sometimes in my homeworks. And when I do, I try to play with the numbers so the answer of the problem comes out a nice number or
Uh-huh.
it comes out a special number. So I go and adjust the numbers of the problem given in the problem. And that probably is part of it, is I love to, create something with numbers where those numbers fall into place. You see what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a different type of art, you
Right.
know. Like when you look at an 8-digit number, if it's an arbitrary number, it may not get your attention. But somebody who doesn't even have an education can look at an 8-digit number, and if it's a palindrome, there's a good chance they will observe it.
Do you have like a favorite? Is there a favorite number?
I have multiple favorite numbers. One of them is 2520, 2520,
Uh,
because this is a number that is divisible by all whole numbers from 1 to 9,
uh,
including 10, actually, 1 to 10.
mm,
That's the smallest number that is divisible by all these numbers. But I have many other, like 1089 is another very special number because 1089 is square of 33. But
mhm.
if you reverse that number, which is 9801, that is square of, I think, 99. So it's a special number. Both it and its reverse happen to be square numbers. That's another special number.
What uh, are there any dates on the calendar then coming up that you are, from a palindrome perspective, you're excited about or that people should be excited about?
Absolutely, Matt. In fact, I took some notes.
Yeah.
Next year, next year is a special year in terms of palindrome dates.
Okay.
As I mentioned to you, you can have 8-digit palindrome dates, 7-digit palindrome dates, even like 4 or 5-digit palindrome dates if you write the year number with only 2 digits instead of
Hmm.
4 digits.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, this century, in both calendar systems, what I mean by both calendar systems is, as you know, in the US, we write the month number before the day number.
Right.
In the rest of the world, they write the day number before the month number.
Hmm.
And this changes everything. So we may have a palindrome day tomorrow. The rest of the world will not have a palindrome day tomorrow
Right.
because that number will correspond to a different date. And sometimes it may not be a valid date in their date
Hmm.
format. So it's that's another interesting aspect of it. But next year, 2021, will have 2 full palindrome dates. One will be an 8-digit palindrome date. The other one will be a 7-digit palindrome date. And if you have a pen, and I could email this to you, if you have a pen, you could jot this down. But you see, what I do is to find a palindrome. If you say, okay, Aziz, what about year 2042? Is there a full palindrome date in the year 2042? There's a very simple way to check that.
Okay.
So what you do is you write 2042, and then you take those 4 digits and you mirror image them on the left-hand side of that number. So all of a sudden you take that 4-digit number, which is the year number, and you reverse it and then put it on the left-hand side of that year number.
Got it.
As a result, you get an 8-digit number.
The
left side 4 digits are the reverse of the right side 4 digits. And then you look at that 8-digit number. You ask yourself the question, is this a valid calendar date? The way you judge that is you make sure the month number is less than or equal to 12, and the day number is less than or equal to 31 or 30, or in some cases 28, 29 if it is February.
Got it.
So that's how you determine whether year 2042 has an 8-digit palindrome date or not. If that 8-digit number in the year 2042 is not a valid calendar date, I think I'm losing you, but let me see. Yeah, there we go. It's not a valid calendar date. Then you say there's no 8-digit palindrome date in the year 2042. Then what you do is you take the last 3 digits of 2042.
Okay.
And that's what you reverse and put it on the left-hand side of the year number. Because you reverse the last 3 digits, as a result, you get a 7-digit number. And then you ask yourself the same question. Is this a valid calendar date?
Yeah.
If it is, that's a 7-digit palindrome date that's going to occur in the year 2042. If it is not, there's not going to be a 7-digit palindrome date in the year 2042. So let's take the next year's year number, 2021. Now, if you take 2021, reverse it, it's going to be 1202.
Yeah.
If you put that to the left of 2021, you're going to get an 8-digit number, which is 1202 2021.
Right.
And that's a valid date because that corresponds in our date system, December 2nd, 2021.
Right.
So next year, we will have an 8-digit palindrome date on December 2, 2021.
Wow.
Which is a full date. That's not going to occur any other time because that is a special calendar date that will be palindrome only on that date when you write it as a full date number.
Yeah. Wow.
Then you ask yourself the question, okay, is there a 7-digit palindrome date next year? So to find that out, you take 2021, you focus on the last 3 digits, which is 0 to 1. You reverse 0 to 1, which makes it 120. And then you put 120 to the left of 2021. What you get is 120 2021. And guess what? That is a 7-digit palindrome date, which corresponds to January 20th, 2021.
Right.
So next year is special because there are 2 full palindrome dates.
Wow.
One on December 2, which is an 8-digit palindrome date. And the other one is at the beginning of the year on January 20th, which is a 7-digit palindrome date.
Wow.
The only time this occurred in this century was the year 2011.
Yeah.
And after next year, there won't be any other year in this century which will have 2 full palindrome days.
Amazing.
1 8, 1 7 digit, which makes it unique, really.